So our next lecture is from Veterinary Public Health, that is about zoonoses. We are going to study this in following subheadings. First is etymology, that is origin of the word zoonosis. Then definition, classification of zoonosis, transmission of zoonosis, where we'll study route of transmission, transmission cycle, and role of different domestic animals, domiciliated animal, migratory animals in this transmission. Then occupational zoonotic diseases, which will learn by the mnemonic clears to clear your exam. Then impact of zoonosis on the human health and economy. Then emergence or re-emergence of zoonotic diseases and the factors which are responsible for their emergence or re-emergence. Then at the end, prevention and control of zoonotic diseases, where we'll study 8 principles of this control. So first we'll start with the etymology of the word zoonosis. So etymology means origin, study of origin of the word. So here we have zoonosis, that comes from the Greek origin, zoo and nosis. Zoo means animal and the nos means disease. So etymologically, zoonosis means disease of animal. Disease of animal. Zoo, animal, nos is the disease. So etymologically or by origin, zoonosis means disease of animals. Then there is one MCQ related with this term zoonosis. Rudolf Virchow coined the term DAS in 1855 in his book Handbook of Communicable Diseases. So for the first time, Rudolf Virchow, he used this term for the communicable diseases in his book Handbook of Communicable Diseases in 1855. So there are 4 options: zoonosis ES, zoonosis IS, and zoonotic, and D is all. So out of this, which word or which term was coined by Rudolf Virchow? So correct answer is B, that is zoonosis. Then how to remember this term zoonosis? This I comes in the name of Virchow. I comes in the name of Virchow, that is zoonosis. Then NOSES, and this IS, if we make it reverse, then this is SI. It means this is singular. This is singular. And E comes in plural, that is E, plural. So this is plural, this is singular, and zoonotic, this is the adjective. This is the adjective. So out of these 3, the term which is singular, that is zoonosis, IS, reverse is SI, singular. This term was coined by Rudolf Virchow. And in the Virchow there is no E, so the term is not plural, there is only I, means it is singular. So I for I, you can remember easily this I with this I. So term zoonosis was coined by Rudolf Virchow 1855 in his book named Handbook of Communicable Disease. Next is definition of the zoonosis. So there is one group or committee known as Joint Expert Committee or Joint Expert Group that was established by FAO and WHO. This Joint Expert Committee or group on zoonosis, they defined this term zoonosis in 1950. In their first report, they defined what is zoonosis. So those diseases which are naturally transmitted between vertebrate animal and man are known as zoonoses. But in their second report, before this second report, they recognize the difference between disease versus infection, and they slightly modify the definition. In their second report in 1959, they defined zoonosis as those diseases and infections. So these two words were added in the definition, means those diseases and infections which are naturally transmitted between vertebrate animal and man are known as zoonoses. So in 1950 and 1959, definition remains same, only one word or two words are added, and infection, because they recognize the difference between disease and infection. So they slightly modified the definition. Then there are some limitations to this definition, means inclusion or exclusion of these two limitations are still exist in this definition. First is they are talking about natural transmission between man and animal. Then we know in laboratory conditions there are experimental transmission. For example, Robert Koch postulate. Robert Koch postulate where he inoculated some microbes into the mice and studied their effect. So that experimental transmission is not a zoonosis. Second, some snakes, frogs, fishes which are venomous, they inoculate human being, their toxin, their venom. So this inoculation is not a kind of zoonosis. So this inoculation does not come under the definition of zoonosis. So these are the similar definitions, only infection was added in the latest definition that is given in 1959. So World Zoonosis Day, this is celebrated on every year on 6th of July. The question is, why on 6th of July? Because on this day, 6th July 1885, Louis Pasteur administered the first rabies vaccine into a little boy whose name was Joseph Mister. So Joseph Mister was administered first rabies vaccine on this date, 6th July, by Louis Pasteur. So it is celebrated on 6th July, World Zoonosis Day. Epidemiology of the cases over the world and their existence as a zoonotic. First, as per WHO report 2020, it says that more than 200 diseases, they are recognized as zoonosis. More than 200 diseases are recognized as zoonotic diseases. Number 2, 61% of human pathogens, 61% of human pathogens, they are zoonotic in nature. Means out of 1415 pathogens, 868 are zoonotic. The percentage is 61. It means 61% means out of every 10, 6 pathogens are zoonotic in nature. Out of 10 pathogens, 6 are zoonotic in nature. Second is 63% of infectious agent identified between 1973 to 94 are zoonotic in nature. Means this is one report where they have studied total 22 major infectious agents, out of which 14 are zoonotic in nature during this period 1973 to 94. So 14 out of 22 is 63%. Next, zoonotic diseases may be emerging or re-emerging. The best example of emerging is your COVID-19. Re-emerging is human plague. So COVID-19, it is a emerging, means new cases. It's coming for the first time. So zoonotic diseases are emerging or re-emerging. So 75% of these emerging diseases are zoonotic in nature. So 61%, 63 and 75% and more than 200. So these values are very important for MCQ point of view. Classification of zoonosis. First is based on etiology, where bacterial, viral, protozoal and parasitic, prions based and MCR based, mycoplasma, chlamydial and rickettsial. This is based on etiology. Second is based on transmission cycle or life cycle or mode of transmission. You can remember by this mnemonic document of MS Word, where this document means direct zoonosis, O means ortho, direct or orthozoonosis, C for cyclozoonosis, M for metazoonosis, S for saprozoonosis. Next is based on reservoir, that is reservoir host. Anthropozoonosis, zooanthropnosis, amphigenosis. Next is based on occupation. Here one mnemonic is there to clear your exam, that is clears. CL, clinical or laboratory. E for epidemiological and emergency. A for agricultural, animal product manufacturer. R is recreational. S for sylvan and campestral. So these are based on occupation, based on reservoir, animal to human, human to animal and equally between two. Based on the life cycle, that is direct, cyclo and meta and saprozoonosis, and based on etiology like bacterial, viral, fungal and MCR. So this is the classification of the zoonosis in 4 categories. So classification first is based on etiology. So these are the etiologies, or I must call it, this is based on your syllabus. These are the number of diseases which are given in your syllabus in your VPH ICAR textbook, where prion zoonosis, there is only one, that is BSE, bovine spongiform encephalopathy, and in human it is known as Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Then MCR zoonosis, mycoplasma, chlamydia and rickettsial zoonosis. There are 3, and including this mycoplasma, these are 4 in number. Q fever, Indian tick typhus, chlamydiosis and mycoplasma pneumoniae. Viral disease, there are 13 in your syllabus. First rabies, Japanese encephalitis, KFT, then West Nile fever, yellow fever, dengue fever. Avian influenza, swine influenza, Rift Valley fever, FMD, Ranikhet, Ganjam disease and buffalo pox. Actinomycetic zoonosis, they are 3 in number. Actinomycosis, lumpy jaw, nocardia and dermatophilosis. Fungal mycotics are 10 in number. Then parasitic, total 18 diseases are given in the syllabus. 9 plus 4, 3 and 2. 9 is protozoa, 4 diseases cystod, 3 arthropod and 2 from the trematodes, that is fasciolopsis and cystosome. and bacterial 25. So this is not only based on etiology but also based on your syllabus, where these are the number of diseases which are described in your ICAR textbook, and these are the agent, that is the etiological based on the agent. Based on transmission cycle or life cycle, the mnemonic is document of MS Word. So where DO means direct zoonosis or orthozoonosis. So this life cycle, they are based on our definition that zoonosis is diseases and infection naturally transmitted between vertebrate animal and man. So vertebrate host, these vertebrate hosts, this could be one vertebrate, it could be one, more than one, or like this. So first from this we'll see one vertebrate is involved. So in orthozoonosis, the infection is transmitted either directly or indirectly. Directly means via direct contact. There are two examples, anthrax and COVID-19. Indirectly means with the help of some food or air or vector. So with the food, teniasis, Taenia solium, Taenia saginata. With the via air, tuberculosis, and vector, the example are rats. In this vector, there is mechanical transmission, means the agent inside the rat will not multiply, will not develop. This will act only as a carrier or mechanical carrier of the disease causing agent. So the example is rats. Rats means rabies, anthrax, TB, and scabies. So this is your direct or orthozoonosis, either direct contact or indirectly through food, air, or vector. Vector means mechanical transmission. The vector is acting only as a mechanical vector, not biological vector. Next is cyclozoonosis. So in this cyclozoonosis, more than one vertebrate animal or vertebrate host are required to complete the life cycle. Or you may find in cyclozoonosis, two or more vertebrate hosts are required to complete the life cycle. So both are correct. Either it is written as more than one, or if it is written as two or more vertebrate hosts required to complete the life cycle or transmission cycle. But in this cyclozoonosis, no invertebrate host required. Means there is no invertebrate host to complete the life cycle. It is of two types: obligatory zoonosis, non-obligatory zoonosis. Obligatory cyclozoonosis, also known as euzoonosis. Obligatory means man is must. What is obligatory? The man or human is obligatory or compulsory to complete the life cycle. Taenia solium, Taenia saginata. These are the example of obligatory cyclozoonosis or euzoonosis. Then NOC, non-obligatory cyclozoonosis. Here the man is not compulsory, not obligatory. It is cul-de-sac, means the man is dead end. It means if the man acquire this zoonotic disease, from the man there is no transmission from human to human and no transmission from human to animal. This man is the dead end. So there is no further transmission from this man. Example, toxoplasmosis and echinococcus granulosus, that is your hydatidosis. So NOC, In echinococcus there is NOC. So you can remember from this trick NOC for NOC. Toxoplasmosis and echinococcus. These are non-obligatory cyclozoonoses. Next is metazoonosis. In metazoonosis, to complete the life cycle or transmission cycle, what we require? We require both vertebrate animal, vertebrate host, as well as invertebrate host. So based on number of these vertebrate or invertebrate, it is further subdivided into metazoonosis type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4. So either vertebrate is 1 or 2. Either the invertebrate is 1 or 2. Invertebrate also 1 or 2. So based on their number, it is further divided. Metazoonosis type 1. There is one vertebrate host and one invertebrate host. 1 and 1, that is 11. Example, yellow fever and plague. After 11 it comes 12, then 21. This is in ascending order. So type 2, as the definition, our definition of zoonosis start from vertebrate animal. So the first number or the first letter will be your V only. That is from the definition. So in metazoonosis type 2, that is 12, means 1 is vertebrate, 2 invertebrate. Example, Paragonimus. Type 3, after 12, 21. This 2 is vertebrate and the 1 is IV invertebrate. Example, Clonorchiasis. But metazoonosis type 4, that is trans-ovarian transmission, means transmission through the ovary. And the only one example, tick-borne encephalitis. That is your Babesia. So this subclassification where number of vertebrate and invertebrate host, that will start with the definition of zoonosis, means disease transmitted between vertebrate animal and man. So this one, these two, these are your vertebrate and the second is invertebrate. So either their number is 1 or 2, but both are involved. Vertebrate and invertebrate both are involved in metazoonosis. So based on life cycle, this is our last one, that is S, saprogenosis. Saprogenosis require non-animate or inanimate, means non-living things, to complete the life cycle. Means vertebrate host are also required, invertebrate host required. Along with this, they require non-living things like soil, water, air, any kind of fomites. These are of three types. One is from animal to human, but here via non-animate, via soil or any fomite. So if it is from animal to human, that is saproanthropogenosis. So we normally read it in reverse direction. That is, zoo means this animal and A for anthropo, that is human. So if you read in reverse direction, zoo means animal to human, anthropo via non-living material. Next is saproamphigenosis. Amphi means both. So it occurs equally in both animal and human. Again via non-animate object or substances. Next is similar to SAG. It is SMAZ, that is saprometa, M for meta. Remaining is same, and we read it in reverse direction from animal to anthropo-human via soil or inanimate object. Here the example is your fasciola liver fluke. So in saprogenosis, what new thing is added is the non-living material. Soil, air, clothes, all these material. Based on reservoir. It is from this definition we have covered this portion, that is if vertebrate is one, your direct or orthogenosis, more than one cyclogenosis, if both are involved, both plus non-animate vertebrate. So this portion we have covered up to this. Now based on the direction, either this direction or this direction. So based on this direction from animal to human, it is read in reverse direction from Jew to anthropo. That is always read in reverse direction. Jew to, that is animal to human. Anthropogenosis in reverse. Rabies, Rift Valley fever, leptospira, tularemia, and hydatidosis. These are your AZ type of anthropogenosis type. Second is this direction from man to the animal, that is zooanthroponosis. Zooanthroponosis means human type tuberculosis, human type diphtheria, and amoebiasis. These are the diseases which transfer from man to animal. So zooanthroponosis, again we read it in reverse direction. Anthropo, that is man to animal. Jew. One is equal share between animal and man, that is amphi means both, amphi, but there is genosis, x is there, amphigenosis. So triple S is the example: streptococcus, staphylococcus, and salmonella. Salmonella, which type? Salmonella is non-host specific salmonella. So amphigenosis are the bacterial infections which can transmit in both direction, animal to man, man to animal. Amphigenosis. So based on reservoir, these are of three types, or I can say based on direction. This animal to man, man to animal, and equal share. So we have covered from this their number, one, more than one, and inclusion of vertebrate plus invertebrate, vertebrate plus invertebrate plus soil. Then we have covered this portion also, that is direction, both direction and this. Next is so last is based on occupation, where the workers are working in clinics or laboratory, like brucellosis and epidemiology, that is KFT, emergency, animal product manufacturer, then agricultural field worker, like leptospirosis in rice field working workers, recreational, that is the animal zoo or pet animal, and last is the sylvan and tempestural, that is related with the forest, like your KFT.
Subscribe for more content.